All right, hello, and welcome to Session 2 of Cyberpunk Red Specters, an actual play using the Cyberpunk Red rule set by R. Telsorian Games, set within the world of Cyberpunk 2077. My name is ELH the Game Master, and joining me are two lovely individuals, which we'll get to meet in a moment. I only really have one announcement, and it's mostly for those of you that are watching this live on Twitch. If you look at your channel points expenditure, you have the option to grant the players a +2, which they can store and use on their rolls as they so wish. Now, I have it set to a moderately priced channel point, and I do have a cooldown on it, but we're going to try it out. We're going to see if chat likes it, if the players like it, and if we need to adjust, we can certainly do so very easily. But yeah, that's all I really have to say at the start of the session. Really eager to get started. So let's do introductions. Annex, if you want to go first.
All right, yeah. Hi. I'm Annex. I'm gonna be playing Fairclough, a former NCPD officer turned MAXTAC Fullborg. They're implanted inside. Their consciousness is implanted inside a Mark III Dragoon, which is pretty much a war machine. And they are yeah.
Got it. And we, Azu, I'll say it right eventually.
Hi, I'm Azu. I'm playing Kane, who is a full-body Gemini cyborg who really likes to fight.
Cool. And look at that, we already have a +2 from chat. I love to see it. But yeah, let's run that intro video and then we can get started. All right, and welcome back. So we resume kind of where we left off at the end of last session. The players, Fairclough and Kane, had recently been assigned to Team 9, a newly formed, quote-unquote, or reformed MAXTAC SPAR Squad. And since there were no pressing issues that required a hot drop of either of them, the good Chief Drake basically tasked them and said, hey, here's a potential cyberpsycho case. We want you to go out and investigate. And in doing so, the players have come to Libertine Lanes, the premier place to bowl in Night City. Now, to sort of set the scene once more, Libertine Lanes is just off the main street, but the line to get in stretches around the block and maybe doubles back on itself in a few places. The music you can hear pretty much 3 blocks away, even if you're in a car, so you know the music is loud inside. In terms of the exterior, all it really just says is kind of a neon sign that says bowling atop of it, with kind of an animated pin and bowling ball that just loops over and over and over again. And both of you are here to see a character or a rocker girl known as Kure-chan, who apparently talked with 2 of the victims that were part of this rubber chicken cyberpsycho event. But where we left off, Fairclough, you had just taken some pictures with some fans who had, I guess we will call it a case of mistaken identity. And at the moment, both you and Kane are outside of Libertine Lanes, looking for a way to get in. And I open the floor to you two. How do you want to proceed?
All right. Well, given Fairclough has a bit of a history with bullying and stuff like that, is there a check I could make to see if I recognize who they might mistake me for?
You know what? Sure. Give me a streetwise here or a local expert. I think either could apply here.
Okay. Expert. We'll just go with that one because it's the first skill I can find.
Fair enough. Yeah, sometimes it is a little bit of an issue to find things on the character sheet, but we do what we can.
There it is, 15.
Hasn't come through for me yet. Oh, there it goes. Excellent. All right, yeah. With the 15, what you would know is that there is a full-body cyborg that goes by the name Pinhead. I'm not making that up. His name is literally Pinhead. That if you were to have 2 eyes instead of that big one you have, you could maybe pass as one another.
I see. So either these fans are either really not the most observant, or they think I'm some other competitor. Okay.
Does this seem to be the line for actual? Do there seem to be other players stuck in line, or are they getting fast tracked?
So you watch a little bit as people come and go from the line and people come and go up to the bouncer, and every once in a while the bouncer will do a VIP check against a physical list, not a electronic list like you might be expecting, but a physical list to see if they're going to
Retro.
be allowed in.
And so this is a bowling alley. Does it seem like most of the people are here to play, or does it seem like most of them are here to kind of watch or here for Cure-chan?
I would say little a part A, little a part B. Even when they don't have live music going on, both of you would know, just without any role required, that Libertine Lanes isn't just the bowling alley. It's part bowling alley, part arcade, part, happening bar. Obviously not as famous as, say, the Atlantis or the Atlantic and the, what's the other one? Afterlife. It's not, that high up there, but it's still a happening place to go.
And how slowly is this line moving?
The line has not moved in the 10 minutes, 20 minutes, however long you really want to wait. The line does not move.
And how many people are between us and the
Oh,
entrance?
I'm going to say a good 20 to 30.
Fairclough, I'm gonna take a look around the perimeter. Don't get into trouble while I'm gone.
No promises.
Fun. And then she's gonna start walking around and see if she can find like roof access, a back door, or anything like that.
I like it. So I'm trying to think what we would make this in terms of a roll. I'm leaning towards perception, but I also probably could give you some form of, well, I don't know if Streetwise would be the right roll. Maybe I could give you tactics. Yeah, why don't we do that? I could give you either tactics or perception, whichever you'd prefer.
I'll take perception. Let me put my solo points into that. I still don't know if these are working properly, but
We can check the roll after you make it.
Okay, so I have 8 in threat detection, which I believe is the perception boosting one. So let's take this roll. This should be at a plus 18.
Okay.
Let's see if it automatically does it.
I'm hoping it does. Well, that's a 1.
Oof!
Oh man.
Minus 10, wow.
Wow.
Okay, well, I do get a plus 8 to that at least, so that's a 9.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like it's adding the, yeah, unfortunately it's not adding it, so we'll just have to check manually. But yeah, with a literal 1 and then a 10, yeah. I'm going to say you're walking around the place, you're looking for, obviously, back entrances, employee entrances. You maybe even hop up on a neighboring building thanks to your cyborg frame and start looking for roof access. They even have somebody watching the roofs. It's that popular. Now, what I would tell you about the roof is that there is a bit of a party going on up here. But as you scan the crowd, you don't see Cure-chan anywhere up here. If she is in the house, she's in the building itself.
So there does seem to be a bit of a roof party going on, which suggests that there should be an entrance. How tall is this building?
I would say it's approximately 2 stories tall. So for you two, I'm not even going to require an athletics check to jump up to it because, again, full Borg, you guys obviously have the body required.
What I'm wondering, so there doesn't seem to be any other floor, like exits, no doors or anything, right? No
there
fire
is
escapes?
one exit on the opposite side of the block, like you walk all the way around the block. But best you can tell is that there's kind of a fence, like a chain link fence between you and that door, which might not really be a concern for you. But it leads to basically the trash compactor or the trash dumpster, where maybe every once in a while an employee will come out and just like toss a bag in, but conceivably a way in if you were inventive.
So she's gonna contact Faircloud by radio. I see 2 other potential points of egress. One is on the roof. There's a party going on, so I doubt we're gonna be able to smuggle youth up there. The alternative would be the back entrance through the garbage chute, but if you come in smelling like garbage, I don't think that will endear us to anybody. Any preferences?
could always try our way through the front first, see how that goes.
That could work. Might as well give it a shot. All right, she'll head back to Fairclough.
All right, and here's where I am trying to find the correct page, but when it comes to, I believe it's Face Down is the actual name for it. I believe that's just plus your reputation. Am I remembering correctly?
Face Down. Oh, I totally forgot about this.
Yeah.
Face Down, I believe, is cool plus rep plus D10.
Let's take a look. I found the page. Yeah, it's cool plus rep plus D10. Yep.
Would this potential... So, Kane's really good at acting and bullshitting. Would... If she handles most of the talking, would she be able to use acting to try to get through this guy?
I'd allow it. Definitely would allow it.
Sure. Okay,
and we'll do the roll first. That way we don't get too into RP and then we're like, oh, sorry, he changes his mind halfway through. And I hate that. That's one of my pet peeves about game mastering is that sometimes GMs go a little too far into the roleplay before requiring the roll.
Yeah. Okay,
all
that's
right, a 20. So you walk up to the bouncer, and the bouncer is fairly standard choom, all things considered. He's maybe got gorilla arms, and of course he's built like a linebacker. But he kind of holds up one of his hands palm first and says, I need a name.
Pinhead.
Pinhead. Pinhead. And, you know, he looks through the list. Yeah, I got you on here, but, and he kind of squints at Fairclough. Don't you usually have, like, 2 eyes?
He swaps out his mods once in a while, depending on the situation.
Well, I mean, you're on the list, and last time I denied somebody entrance, they kind of had my ass, so, welcome to Libertine Lanes. And he undoes, like, the velvet rope and kind of gestures for you to walk past him.
She gives him a smile, then nods to Fairclough and walks in.
Now, very important question, which... Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no, I was just saying, yeah, I go with them.
Okay. Now, very important question. Do either of you tip the bouncer as you go through?
Is that like would they know if they're supposed to?
I would say it's mostly for flavor and fun. Let's just say that one of the things I wish 2077 lets you do a little bit more was tipping random people to do things. So it's mostly for fun that I asked the question.
What's the tipping rate in Night City?
Depends on how generous you feel like being, really.
What's like a here's lunch for tomorrow or something?
Let's be generous and say something like 200 Eddie, maybe.
200 Eddie. Oh wow.
200. That's a really good meal.
That's a really good meal.
Well, I think
that'd be fresh food. Well, I think it's I think in the rule book, I think it's like 100 ebb for kibble for a month.
Let's take a look,
a kibble meal is probably no more than 10 ebb.
Right.
Yeah, a kibble pack is 10.
I might be
same thing with pre-packs.
I might be mistaken the red economy with the 2077 economy because I just remember you remember those like burrito machines in your houses. I just remember them costing an arm and a leg. Oh yeah, you guys are definitely right. Okay, so let's revise that number a little bit. If you really want to get on the guy's good side, give him 100. If you just want to say, hey, thanks for letting us in, give him like 10 to 50.
Okay, she'll tip him. Let's go 20 ebb.
20 ebb. All right. And of course, he gives one of those gestures where he kind of nods directly at you and he understands that you're being polite. But let's move past that into the actual Libertine Lanes itself. Now, as I said earlier, this place is bumpin', and do let me know, anyone, if the music does get too loud, because I did try to get that loudness factor, but also so that it wouldn't drown out anybody else talking. But, hold on, I had it on the right track. As you step in, the first part of the Libertine Lanes building that you see is the actual bar portion. Now, when you step in the door, immediately to your left are 4 couches that are kind of arrayed in almost a horseshoe pattern around a bar. Now, the bar itself is not just for liquor, but it is also for bowling shoes. It's for arcade tokens and things like that. To the right of the door, as you walk in, there is kind of a VIP area / regular booth. And every single booth, every single occupiable, every seat is occupied, is what I mean to say. And the music you hear coming from further inside past the initial bar area. Now, of course, when you walk in, I am going to roll something on my end because you are pretending or being mistaken for Pinhead. So let me go ahead and see what's going on there. Oh, and we also have another +2 from Bear Level 1. Thank you so much. You guys have +4 to use at your convenience on whatever you want.
Ooh, awesome. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what I would say is that Fairclough and Kane, when you walk in, there is another case of mistaken identity. This time it's from a Slavic gentleman who kind of walks up to you and holds out his hand and says, "Oh, Pinhead, I see you changed head again. Oh, welcome, welcome. It's good to see you in this shithole."
It's good to see you too.
You are remembering me, right? Travotsky? We bowled back a few weeks ago. Side note, you have no fucking idea who this guy is. Like, you're frantically scanning, like, NCPD records. There's no record of this guy anywhere.
Kane will speak
idea.
up. I'm sorry. Pinhead he plays a lot of bowling games, so his memory, and especially with the drugs he has to go on.
Oh yes, I understand. When you're chromed like Pinhead, you do not think the same way that bowling person like me does.
Yeah.
Also, you have agent now. Very well done. I know you were talking about that last time. Anyway, I'll get out of your way because your manager is looking at me like she wants to rip off my arm, and I already replaced one today, so I'm gonna get out of here. And he like awkwardly shuffles off.
Look up at Fairclough. We're gonna have to play this very carefully, especially if Pinhead shows up. So
I
keep
agree.
an eye on that door, and if you see anyone who looks like our body double, I'll let you improvise.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Well,
Oh man, this is wild.
get comfortable. I'll look for this Curry-chan, I suppose.
All right, I'm just
Okay,
trying to
yeah.
figure out what I should do in terms of roll here. Why don't we do another perception here? I feel like we might overuse perception sometimes, but I think it's the best thing that would fit in this situation.
Sure. All right, I'll manually add my. There we go.
All right, 20. Yeah, you find her easy. So when you get past the initial bar area into the actual bowling section of Libertine Lanes, you see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I counted correctly. There are 10 bowling lanes set up. 9 of them are occupied currently. One of them does have a bouncer kind of making sure nobody uses the last lane. And there is another bar that is located to the left of the main passageway that leads to the door. Now, this bar is very much a liquor bent bar. It doesn't have any bowling shoes or bowling balls or anything like that. And what's most important about this bar is that the portion of it closer to the door is actually like a miniature stage. And currently performing some kind of like retro punk mixed with postmodern ska with a little bit of electro mixed in is Kirei-chan, or at least someone who fits the bill of Kirei-chan from what you were told to look for. And again, since it has been a week, I'll just remind everyone, Kirei-chan has these kind of standard like V classic haircut where it's kind of like that side shave with the comb over. She has bright purple hair, a ponytail that fans out to black behind her, and startlingly red eyes, if I'm remembering my own NPCs correctly. But she's just kind of having a good time. She's dancing, she's performing, she's kind of got one of those keytar where it's like half keyboard, half guitar, and she's just, she's doing her thing.
Does she have is this kind of one of those situations where she's just kind of providing background ambience? Or
I would
does
say a
actual,
little bit
like,
of background
crowd-
ambience, a little bit of clubbing, because there are
Okay.
definitely people near the stage and sort of in the space between the bar and the bowling lanes that are definitely kind of just dancing and bobbing and kind of just jamming to the music.
Okay. Well, interrupting this probably wouldn't end well, so Kane's gonna stick around and wait for them to take a break on set or something like that.
What about you, Fairclough? You
All
gonna
right,
stick around
then.
as well?
All right, yeah. What's the? I'm gonna go over to the. Does the one guy who's guarding the one bowling alley that's reserved? Does he look to me when I come into sight?
He actually does seem to be looking in your general direction as if he's spotted you, but doesn't want to make it a particularly obvious thing.
Okay, yeah, Fairclough is going to just walk right up to that bowling alley as if it's his.
Okay. Bouncer looks you up and down, and without saying a word, he just sort of steps aside and motions for you to bowl at your heart's content.
All right, yeah, Fairclough is going to step into the alley then, and his optic is going to light up, and he's going to be observing the flooring and everything, and he's going to look back over to the bouncer, and he says, "This is where I'll be bowling in 2 days. Yes,
That is correct, sir."
Okay, yeah, and then Fairclough is gonna he's gonna kind of like get down and kind of like put a hand on the floor, and he gets real close, and he's looking at he's just observing the entire surface area, assuring there's its quality and that there's no changes need to be made.
Yeah. Honestly, in all my bowling research for what was originally going to be a quick bit, it's kind of a big deal. Like, oil patterns change, inclination of the ramp. Like, there's so many little factors that go into bowling that my eyes were literally open. I'm like, whoa, this is a thing. You're doing your thing. You're kind of getting a lay of the land. And what I would say, without a roll required, it is professional quality. And I don't use professional lightly here. Like, there's a reason Libertine Lanes is the place to bowl, because they do this shit correctly.
All right, yeah, and at the same time, Fairclough on the inside is kind of like fanboying a little bit over this, because I imagine he's never been inside here in his whole life.
But yeah, I guess my operative question is, how long do you want to wait on Kyurei-chan as she keeps performing?
Can she talk to the bar and ask the barkeeper and figure out how long Kyurei-chan's going to be performing for?
Yeah, easily enough. So the barkeep will say he's an African-American gentleman who's kind of wearing one of those like tuxedo vests. He's doing that stereotypical bartender thing where, just cleaning that glass over and over. And when you get his attention, he says, what can I help you with? Do you need anything to drink?
I'll take something, sure. Tequila.
What's your poison?
Tequila on the rocks, I think. For today.
Tequila on the rocks. Would you like it a silver hand special or just the tequila?
Sure.
I'm going to take that as a yes. And he begins preparing your drink. And again, he's kind of, he's doing that bartender thing where, he's just being a nice bartender. He's not actually hitting on you, but he kind of looks you up and down and says, hey, we don't usually get your type in here. I mean, at least, usually the girls that come in here are more flamboyant, if you get my meaning.
I could be more flamboyant.
And he kind of sets the drink down in front of you.
Speaking of flamboyance, the singers up there are the guitarist, I suppose. What's her name?
Oh, Kyurei-chan. Yeah, she's a big favorite around here. This is one of 2 places that she headlines.
How long does she normally play for?
And he kind of looks at his wrist chrono and he says, she's good to go for another 30 minutes, but you want to talk to her or something? I could flag her down and she could end her set early.
I think that would be wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful. And it's kind of hard for me to describe this without using my hands, which is kind of one of the drawbacks to being a VTuber, but that's neither here nor there. It's one of those gestures where if you've ever been in a very ritzy hotel where the bellhop or the bellkeep just kind of holds out their hand, it's a similar gesture that you would immediately recognize as he's asking for a tip.
Sure. Let's give him 100 EB.
Okay, yeah, he is definitely going to smile and says, thank you, ma'am. And then he does something that is very subtle but has very big changes. He mixes what is essentially a Flaming Alaska, which is a little bit of a homebrew drink that I always throw into my campaigns whenever there's any drinking. It's basically a Jaeger bomb that has been combined with some form of other liquor that can be burned off without ruining the drink. And he sets down 2 of them, lights both on fire, and after a few moments, Kyurei-chan kind of comes over the mic and goes, all right, ladies and gentlemen, you've been great. Thank you so much. I see my good old friend, the barkeep there, has got my favorite drink ready to go. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to set you guys up for the next band. Johnny, who do we got next? Looks like we got some no-named name, the Backstreet Boys. Wait, like the old 90s band? Yeah. Well, that's tacky as shit. Whatever. Coming up next, the Backstreet Boys. And, the crowd applause and cheers. And Kirei-chan steps down from the stage, swings her guitar around her back, and sits down next to you because that's where the drink is. And without missing a beat, she takes it, takes a swig, still burning, and even a little bit of smoke comes out of her mouth as she turns to you, Kane, and goes, "So, what you need, honey?"
Nothing very fun, I'm afraid. And she's gonna take out her MAXTAC badge.
Now, how discreet are you being?
I think it's kind of like an easy subtlety. She's not like getting up and like waving it around. She's not trying to hide it either. It's just kind of like a casual motion. So if someone's specifically watching her, they'd probably see it. But
give me a conceal reveal here. I think that's probably how we'll play this. And yes,
Sure.
Lord Exile, they definitely are playing Backstreet's Back. It's just, instead of the regular Backstreet Back, it's like a remixed version. So
boy.
you can't even recognize the original song anymore.
let's see. All right, brace yourselves.
All right, an 8. So what I'm going to say is Kirei-chan's eyes go wide, as does the bartender. And the bartender very quickly sends you back the tip you gave him. But Kirei-chan, has a little bit more metal. And she kind of finishes her drink in one swig and says, "All right, honey, this is kind of a big deal. What can I help you with?"
I think it would probably be best if we stepped somewhere a little more quiet.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what the hell those... I don't know what they're not bad. Whatever that is, that's not Backstreet. That's horrible. Yeah, we could step into the arcade. I don't think anybody's really in there right now.
Sure.
And as you two get up and start to head to the arcade, do you motion to Fairclough? And then we'll check in and see what Fairclough's actually doing if they do remain there.
Sure. Kane will contact him via radio and give him a quick heads up. Found Kirei-chan. We're going to have a little discussion in the arcade. Keep an eye out for your friend.
All right. You got it. Let me know if anything comes up.
Of course.
And,
let me know if you have any questions you want me to ask her.
Will do. And Fairclough is gonna be again. At this point, he's talked to the bouncer before, and he's like, "Bring out your best bowling ball, whatever you've got in here. Mine hasn't arrived. I didn't bring mine."
Now, again, this is mostly for fun. Do you prefer the lighter bowling ball or the heavier bowling ball?
Going to be like, it's Fairclough. He prefers the heavy.
Heavy. All right, so the bouncer brings out a big, hefty 14-pounder that kind of is styled after like a cosmic sky. And he says, "Saved it just in case, sir."
All right, and Fairclough will take it from him, and he's gonna observe it, have a look at it. And if it's all set up down the lane, Fairclough's gonna go for a shot.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't already follow me on Twitter, I did make bowling rules, and I'm actually going to switch to the actual scene here. Give me one moment. So that everybody can see the glorious rolls that we have in front of us. So yeah, go ahead and give me a athletics roll here, Fairclough. Now, if I'm remembering correctly, you don't have the quote-unquote regulation bowling souls yet, but when you go back to, get tubes to do it, you will then have a +2 on any bowling in a regulation alley.
Is this a regulation alley?
It is a regulation alley. In fact,
sure.
that little tidbit of cyberware does come directly from Artel Sorian as well. So thank you, Artel, for providing us
That's
a silly rule.
that's as official as you can get.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right, we'll just we'll go for it here.
Oh
35.
my lord.
Oh,
All right,
man.
so I'm going to let you put the positive spin on this one because there's kind of two ways you can do this. Either you can kind of like get a strike that's like super impressive, or you can do one of those things where you set yourself up for a 7-10 split, or basically when the pins in the back are opposite one another with a gap in between them. You could conceivably put to shame every other bowler in this alley at the current moment by doing whatever you do, but I'm going to let you define what it is.
Yeah, no. Fairclough is gonna do exactly that. He's gonna set himself up for a 7-10 split. He throws it at first, and and it splits the pins, right? And so I imagine people are looking over there, just kind of like,
Yeah, they're like, what's going on? He's not rolling strikes.
Yeah, with his first roll, and he doesn't, and Pinhead doesn't even get a strike, and it comes back to him, and he takes a moment, looks back at the ball again, looks at the pins, and he throws it, and does like kind of like one of those curve things where he puts a spin onto it, where it kind of like twists as it goes down the alley and spins, and does kind of like an arc, and he performs a 7-10 split.
And I think, anybody who is paying attention is like, oh, look at that. And they start slow, like clapping very excitedly. Even the bouncer, very stoic gentleman, does a slow clap and a head nod. Well done, sir. Well done.
I think Fairclough has sealed his reputation as being Pinhead now.
Everyone
who saw that.
Oh, yeah. But yeah.
All right, back to Kane.
Yeah, let's see what's going on with Kane. So, Kane, when you and Kyrie-chan step into the arcade, I'd like you to imagine, if you've ever been in one before, kind of like a pinball alley, where there's a lot of just pinball machines, a lot of retro arcade cabinets, like, what was that old one I used to do when I was a kid? Was it the Area 51 Alien game or something? Oh, what was that other one? Crisis, was it Crisis Core? Am I remembering that correctly?
Oh, it's been a while. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it's been a while. Point being, there's a lot of retro, cool little mini games you could be playing. But as Kyrie-chan did say, there's not a whole lot of people in here. In fact, you can easily find a quiet corner to have a mostly private conversation if you need it.
Sure, let's do that. And then once she gets her in the corner, she'll offer a cigarette first.
Oh, thanks, but no thanks. I'm actually trying to cut back.
That's good of you. So, I shouldn't take too much of your time today. Ryan Holmes and Taylor Barnes. What do you know about them?
It's ringing a bell. Do you have a picture of them, maybe?
Would you have a picture of them?
You would, yeah. It would have come with the dossier.
Okay, so she'll flip over. She has an internal agent, but I'm sure she has some sort of tablet or something, or maybe through the like a data chip,
like a shard. Yeah.
Yeah, she'll offer it out, which will have the faces and names of the 2 employees.
So Kyrie-chan will take the shard, slot it, and her eyes glow for a little bit, and says, "Yeah, actually, I know these 2. That first one, what was this? Ryan Holmes? Yeah, he actually spoke to me quite at length. He was actually favored to win a tournament about 8 weeks ago, but he was a no-show to the final rounds, which was really odd, because I remember he cornered me after the show to tell me how much of a fan he was, which, when you're me, you're used to that. But I just remember he had really, really shitty humor. Like, what was that joke? I remember now. And she kind of does an impression, so it's ELH doing an impression of an impression. What kind of cat likes to go bowling? An alley cat. And ELH takes 12 psychic damage directly to his sanity.
As do we.
But Kyrie-chan...
Fairclough is going to spontaneously laugh for no reason whatsoever.
Kyrie-chan actually rolls her eyes and sighs and says, "Ugh, that hurt to get out. I'm so sorry." Yeah, I just remember he was a joker. He was a very boisterous gentleman, but now that I think about it, I don't know really why it occurs to me, but looking at this other one, the second person, neither of them really had cyberware. I mean, obviously they had the Neuralink and they had some minor stuff, but nothing like Pinhead, if you know who Pinhead is. Nothing like a full body or nothing like that at all.
8 weeks. ELH 8 weeks ago.
Yes.
Was that when were these guys found dead?
I would say that Ryan was found about 7.5 weeks ago dead. So the timeline does match up from what you have in the dossier.
Okay. So is it, knowing the timelines, would it be reasonable to assume that Ryan Holmes didn't make it to the tournament because he was dead?
Yes, it is very easy for you to deduce that. No roll required.
Okay. Was this a bowling tournament? I don't know if
It was. All of this is bowling tournaments.
And was it at this establishment? What's this place called again?
Libertine Lanes,
Libertine
which is
Lanes.
actually a tribute to 2020 because they mentioned it just as an offhand lore thing, which, had to pull on.
Okay, perfect.
But yeah, I would say if you ask Curie-chan kind of goes, let me think. No, I wasn't here at Libertine Lanes. I believe I was at Pins and Needles was the other location where I met Richard.
You have quite the passion for bowling, don't you?
I wouldn't call it so much a passion for bowling as you'd be surprised how many eddies they throw at you to do live music at a bowling alley like this.
Richard. Who's Richard?
Sorry, this Holmes person. Ryan. Sorry, Ryan Holmes.
And so you met both Ryan and Taylor only once each?
Correct, yeah. The second one didn't really have jokes, thank the Lord. But I do remember them saying that they were a little bit nervous that some creep was looking at them from across the alleyway. I kind of just at the time, kind of laughed and said, oh, we all have those kinds of things. But you say they're dead?
Oh, I haven't said anything of the sort.
Well, I can only assume based on the fact that you've come looking for them.
That's a fair assumption.
Well, I mean...
Go ahead.
I'm just... And, she's scratching her head. I'm just trying to think if there's anything more I can tell you that might help.
Did Taylor mention anything further about this creep of his?
Let me see. And I'm doing a off-screen GM roll, just so people know why you might hear a thud as I roll my very heavy D20.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So she does kind of do one of those aha moments where she goes, actually, yes, I do remember one thing. The person whoever this person was that was stalking, creeping them out, I do recall that they were wearing a very tacky yellow suit with a red vest.
That's an unusual combination.
That and the fact that he was actually dressed in a suit.
Well, from what we've seen so far, that's not really like a standard kind of outfit for Libertine Lanes, right? You mentioned that.
Oh no, it is grossly out of character.
Okay, gotcha. Let's see, what else? She'll poke in with Fairclough. Any ideas for questions to ask, Fairclough?
Who won the tournament and who was who were they competing against and who ended up winning the tournament?
She'll nod and then look back to Curie-chan. Who ended up winning that tournament? And was Taylor at all involved?
Let me think. With Ryan, it was versus Pinhead. The second one with Taylor, that one... Oh, what was that guy's name? Something... No, it wasn't Smith. What was his name? And Curie-chan is like doing her best to recall what that name is. Ah, I remember now. It was Frank. And Frank means nothing to you, Kane, but to Fairclough, who's obviously listening in, no roll required, you know that Frank, just the word Frank, is like the second top bowler in Night City.
And this was Taylor who was meant to go up against Frank, right? So he
Correct.
was a bowler?
Correct.
Does that answer your question, Fairclough?
Yeah. That's Frank's one of the second top bowler in the city. It's both big names.
Is Frank borged up?
I mean, Fairclaugh's gonna think to himself, is he? I mean,
I'm gonna let you
personally, I
make
would
the
probably
call.
assume that he is. You know what? No, Frank is the counter, kind of like the other side of the coin. Whereas Pinhead is like this, machine built for bowling. Frank is the organic, minimum modification. He's just whole human for the most part. He doesn't use any cybernetics to enhance his game. And it's likely the reason why he's still number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking of if there's anything else to ask. Well, I think that's all, Courage Fan, but if you don't mind, could I get your contact information in case we need to discuss this further?
As long as you don't call me in my off hours for something that isn't related to that badge, she says as she winks at you, and you get her contact aids.
All right, yeah. She'll give a little mechanical wink and then gesture towards the exit of the arcade.
She takes the hint, and unless you want her to stick around for additional questioning, she's just going to kind of go finish the second Flaming Alaska and then probably get back on stage because whatever the hell these people are doing, it ain't music.
Okay, so yeah, she'll contact Fairclough. I think he heard everything, but she'll just go over it. I've also, OOC, I've written what we have in the journal so far, so I'll just recite it. Ryan Holmes, favored to win a tournament 8 weeks prior versus Pinhead, was a no-show, probably because he was dead. No-show because he was... Oh, oops. Oh no!
I think you have your token selected. That's why your token was flying over
I
the
didn't.
place.
Someone edited the journal and I hadn't saved the entry. Okay, let me try if I can remember what I wrote.
I can fill you back in if you need.
Oh yeah. So okay, Ryan Holmes was going to participate in Attorney 8 weeks prior, died and couldn't make it. I assume Pinhead won in his absence.
Correct.
Pinhead won, followed by Taylor Barnes. Did she catch if Taylor made it to his match versus Frank?
No, they were also a no-show.
In a turn, was that also 8 weeks prior, or was that a different time?
That would have been 6 weeks prior. So there's been a 2-week gap between when they expired.
Okay, who won that one? Did Frank win, or did Pinhead win again?
Frank was the headliner for that one, so Frank won that one.
Gotcha. Taylor specifically mentioned being watched by a creepy guy with I think it was a yellow suit and a red vest, or was that?
You got it.
Yellow suit and a red vest. Okay, and I think that's the major stuff, right?
I think so. Hit save before we lose it again.
Yes, I have hit save.
Excellent. Also, that is something I would say to any GM. Always take the time to make sure your players have the notes they want. It makes a lot of things easy.
Yes. There's a lot.
I've got one question. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead and ask the question.
Since we're on it, what was the name of that Russian guy, real quick? Just so I know.
I believe I called him Travoisky, if I'm remembering my own words correctly.
Should I spell that, or should I just butcher it?
I just butcher it. I mean, as long as it's close enough.
Yeah, let's see. Travoisky, Russian. The Russian guy wasn't wearing a yellow suit and a red vest, right?
No, he wasn't.
Okay.
No, he was literally just one of those background NPCs you throw in because you need flavor. So if he becomes a more important character, we'll just sort of look back and be like, oh yeah, that guy.
Okay, I'll just put it in just because. I played a game with Pinhead. Okay. So Fairclough, there were 3 different... Each of them worked for Corpse. Each of them were going to attend bowling tournaments, which they didn't make because they died. And none of them had very extensive cybernetic modifications. So those are 3 very different but very promising patterns between our victims. Out of curiosity, do you see anyone wearing a tacky yellow suit and a red vest in the lane right now?
Fairclough is just going to, with this like that, just turn over his shoulder. His head's just gonna turn, and just kind of like his mono eye lights up and just immediately scans the entire room. And hopefully this takes into account with the
Oh dear.
Oh my.
Well, what was the solo modification on that?
For his solo, it should be a +8.
Okay, so that's actually a 19, I believe.
That's a 19 on a crit fail. Nice job.
Yeah, not bad.
He might also have a +2 from his optics.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I think you're at, what, 21?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right. And, of course, if ever you need it, there are +6 available to you at the moment from chat. But yeah, with a 21, I'm gonna say that you don't detect anyone in a yellow suit or a red vest or anything that would match the description. However, you do immediately recognize that stepping into the actual bowling part of Libertine Lanes is Pinhead themselves. Now, Pinhead kind of looks like someone took a look at Atom Smasher and said, you know what would look good if instead of that white chrome dome, it was a bowling pin. Yeah, it's weird, but he's very, very notable, and he is making a beeline for you, Fairclough.
Has Faircloud been spotted?
Oh no, he's definitely been spotted here.
Is he gonna alert Kane?
Yeah, he's gonna alert Kane. Faircloud is obviously don't think there's a way he's gonna weasel out of this one, so he's going to cross his arms and await the coming storm.
Okay. Kane, are you going to join Faircloud, or are you going to watch from afar and just see what happens?
She's gonna head out of the arcade. But if he has been spotted, she'll just. Where is her token here? I think I might have
you're
dragged
in
it
the
off.
bar.
Oh yeah, over at the bar. She'll just come over here and lean against the wall and just watch and see what happens.
And I'll actually switch us over to the map layer here because it does matter a little bit in terms of what's going on. So Pinhead, or as anyone in the know would know, Richard Weber, storms up to you, Faircloud, and I'd say equal height with you. Kind of looks you up and down with his red eyes, and the top of his literal pin head bobbles just a little bit.
So wait, is it a bowling ball head or a pin head?
It's a pinhead, literally a pinhead.
Like a bowling pin.
Yep.
That's bold.
Yeah. But he looks you up and down and he says, you know what, for an imitation, you're not half bad.
And are the pins set up still?
They are.
Okay, yeah, and with that, Faircloud is going to one-up that, and I'm going to, again, using this the bowling ball that I got, the heavyweight one, I'm going to make an athletics check here. And I think this is a suitably appropriate time. You know, I wanted to save these chat bonuses for something cool. So I think showing up Pinhead at his own game is the perfect opportunity here. So I'll get a +2, and
well,
I don't
how
have
many
the souls
+2s
yet,
do you want to
so-
spend? You have 8. You have 8 total points you can spend here.
Oh shit! I'll take a lifeline. What does the chat think? How badly do we want to do this?
I don't know, chat. How bold do you want him to be? Let's take a poll here. I don't know. I think if it were me, though, I would say maybe 1 or 2 of the +2s.
Yeah, I
You also
don't
have your
think I
own
want to
luck
use
you can
all
spend.
3.
Don't forget.
I would say you also do have your
That's
own luck
true,
that you
that's
can
true.
spend. Yeah, Lord Exile says bold. I'm inclined to agree.
Oh,
What did he say?
Just bold. Go for it.
Bold. Okay.
Also, Celadon says go for it. You know what? That's 2. That's all you need.
Okay, then I'll use 4 of the modifiers, and I'm gonna use 2 of. No, it's too big of an opportunity. I'm gonna spend 4 luck. I gotta show him. I gotta show him who's boss.
And a 30. Again,
Damn.
you
Yes!
are putting on a clinic. What does that look like specifically?
Faircloud is going to repeat the same maneuver that he did last time. First, setting up the 7-10 split, and then executing it with the curved shot. And he's going to just stand there expectantly and just wait for Pinhead to, try and match it.
Okay. So Pinhead kind of crosses his arms over his mechanical chest, and he snickers a little bit and goes, All right, you know what you're doing. I like it. I mean, normally when somebody impersonates me, they don't have the shit to back up their talk, but I like you. I don't know who the hell you are, but I like you. But I don't think we need to resort to violence tonight. I think this is a party. We should enjoy it. But how about you come by the tournament 2 days from now, and we can settle who's the imitation.
I look forward to it.
And then he can't really smile, but he does one of those gestures where it's not patronizing, but it's more kind of like brotherly, where he kind of like pats the side of your shoulder and says, "All right, well, I'm going to let you finish your set, but I am going to have to politely ask you to GTFO once you're done."
All right, yeah. And Fairclough will do that. All right.
Fairclough, you've impersonated the politest Borg I've ever seen.
I think I intimidated him.
Just a little.
What does chat think? Are they happy with that?
Oh, they're very happy with that.
I am.
But yeah. So at this point, you have new things to go on. You have potentially a challenge to come bowl against Pinhead, the premier bowler in Night City. Where would you guys like to go from here?
I think we've gotten all the most of the information we need. Did you mention the other 2 tournaments? They were held in different lanes, right? They weren't both held at Libertine.
Correct. Only the one with Ryan was held at Libertine.
Okay, let me just mark that down. Attorney at Libertine. And did you have a name for the other one, or was it just another bowling alley?
I think I said one, but I forgot its name already. There
Okay,
you go, Pins and Needles. That's what it was. Thank you.
Pins and Needles. Okay. She's so she'll contact him. Well, Fairclough, I think we've stretched our luck a little bit thin, but I'm going to stick around for maybe another hour or so, see if I can catch sight of any unusually dressed gentlemen. You want to stick around, or do you think you've worn out your welcome?
I don't think. I'm not certain if that's a worthwhile endeavor. It's very unlikely that they're gonna show up here, I'd imagine.
Well, we can leave then. And she will do just a scan, just to make sure that she doesn't catch anyone with a similar aesthetic before they head out.
Yeah, you do your own scan of the room, and you're not seeing anyone in a tacky yellow suit.
Okay. It would stick out.
Oh yeah, like a sore thumb. Okay. It really would.
Okay. Yeah, we'll head out then.
Okay. All right, and where are you 2 headed from here? The night is young, as they say.
All right, yeah. Fairclough's gonna wave goodbye to everyone, or just do a single kind of just farewell. I imagine as any to all the people that witnessed him just show up, Pinhead, fucking perform a 7-10 split twice.
One thing, before they go, would Kane be able to sign them both up individually for the next the upcoming bowling tournament?
Easily done.
Okay. Is there any way to identify how much cyberware you have? Or is
it's one of those things when you go to, and let's actually make this a thing. So when you go up to one of the bars, probably the first bar near the actual door in and out of here, there is kind of one of those scanners we see every once in a while in 2077 where it just kind of does a full body scan of you, and they appropriately fit you into the tournament bracket based on how bored you are, kind of a thing.
I gotcha. Is it like one of those metal detector kind of things, or is it a different type of scanner?
It's the kind that looks like a security camera, but instead of kind of that red light beam, it's kind of just a bright blue that just kind of goes across your entire form.
Gotcha. And from what we've learned so far, the other 2 were killed before the tournaments began, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before the final match, at least, yes.
Oh, before the final match. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Yep. Once she has them both signed up, she'll head out.
All right. That's the interesting thing. So, and all these people there specifically, they didn't have they weren't heavily augmented.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they weren't heavily augmented. They all worked for Corpse, but that I don't know, how rare is that around here? ELH, is that like a
I would say that, if you trip over somebody in an alleyway, it's either going to be a corpo or something worse. So there's a lot of corpos out
Okay,
there.
so that's not super unusual, but it is a pattern. So they're not very augmented. There were corpos, and they were due to perform in a tournament that they could not make because they were dead.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we got so far. And this creepy, poorly dressed guy or girl. I don't think it was. Was it? Were we told
It was very vague. You weren't
woman?
sure what they were, just that they were in the suit.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So that's
All right.
I think what we know.
And and as they're exiting the building, you want to hit up pins and needles.
Pins and needles. What kind of information are you looking for? Or are you just invigorated with the thrill of the bowl?
You know me too well already.
Mm-hmm.
Where was the yellow suit spotted?
If you want to look at the map real quick, let me
Sure.
see if I can point out with the ruler. Also, yes, the thrill of the bowl. Nothing I expected to hear tonight. So kind of, you see this first alley that's right next to the dividing line between the first and second bar. That's where the creepy person was spotted, at least according to Curie-chan.
So is that Libertine Lanes?
That is at Libertine Lanes, correct.
Okay. And it was at one of the pre-final tournament rounds.
Correct.
Okay. How many days of tournaments go on before you get to the finals?
I think I have this in my notes. I do. Depending on the tournament, it can be anywhere between 6 hours to 2 days. So the tournament in question was one of the lesser. So it was kind of like the window in which the person was killed in both instances was like almost an hour or two before their final game.
Whew.
Okay. So this would be after like a few sets, and then they were killed before the final one? Is that kind of how that worked?
Correct. Now, of course, their bodies weren't found for several days or weeks after the fact, but they were supposedly killed very soon before their final matches.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. They got chicken.
She's Kane's gonna radio Hell, I believe, was our net runner.
Yeah, Hell's the netrunner.
Hell, are you there?
Yeah, unfortunately, what do you need?
How hard would it be to trick one of those? What's the name of the sensor?
We'll just call it an IR sensor for sake of ease.
How hard would it be to trick an IR sensor into thinking you were mostly Gannic?
Depends on the scanner, really, and how much net access it has. Do you need me to get you somewhere where you need to be Borg or not Borg?
I might have an idea brewing, but I'll need to discuss it with Fairclough a bit more.
All right, well, it's not like I'm going anywhere. I kind of live in the building, so I guess just call me if you need me.
Sure. And then she's mostly just using radio because that's safer. Where are they right now? Are we heading to Pins and Needles, Fairclough, or are we just hanging around the block?
Oh man. I'm thinking now. Are we coming to Pins and Needles?
Could just
How far
wander.
off is Pins and Needles?
Okay.
Yeah, sure. You know, we're just on the streets right now.
Sure.
We're just walking.
Well, okay, Fairclough. Naturally, no one in their right mind is going to look at you and assume you were Gannic, but I might be able to slip it. I'm wondering, what if I participate in this tournament, and if we manage to trick the organizers into thinking I'm mostly Gannic, we might be able to bait our would-be killer into disappearing me, maybe?
Fairclough kind of like nods his head some and says, well, you might not be much, but I think we can make it work with 2 days.
I think we can make it work. I guess the only question is how we're gonna trick the devices, but if we can get Hell access, I'm pretty sure she could take care of it.
And
Okay.
with that, we're going to take our 5 to 10 minute break here, so we'll be back shortly, everybody. Stick around. All right, and welcome back to part 2 of session 2 of Spectres, a Cyberpunk Red actual play. If you're just joining us, the players, in tracking down what could be a cyberpsycho killing and then stuffing rubber chickens inside of people, they've come to Libertine Lanes, the premier place to bowl in Night City, and are going to enact a scheme, I think is appropriate to say, where they're going to try and lure out a person of interest by faking Kane as a fully organic bowler in one of the major tournaments that is being held here. Now, when we last left off, the players were leaving Libertine Lanes, but we chatted off screen, and I believe where we're headed next is Fairclau's uncle's place. Now, what sort of place does your uncle have, Fairclau? Is this like an apartment? Is this like the no-tell motel? You know, what sort of level of comfort and or rundownness are we talking here?
Fairclau's uncle's definitely probably not like the most well off. I'm pretty sure, right, to live pretty much anywhere in the city. I mean, you don't have to be a corpo to do that necessarily, right?
Yeah, I think really the only
Or-
time a corpo comes in is if you're trying to live near city center.
Okay, yeah. I imagine he might live somewhere in the Haywood, I guess.
Haywood's fine.
I'm thinking an apartment, maybe even a sizable one at that, but it's definitely not going to be it's going to be crammed full of stuff. That's all I can say.
So you guys go to Vista Del Rey, where Uncle Nick is located. You chime the door, and after a few moments, you hear some shuffling and maybe a stack of whatever falling over. And appearing on the other side is Uncle Nick. Now, if you'll allow me a few creative liberties here, I'm imagining Uncle Nick is one of those like older gentlemen that walks with a cane, but he's like a happy, like old person, if that makes any sense, where, you know, he's not that miserable kind we see at the beginning of, say, Up. Like, he's still got a lot of energy and pep in him. He just has to walk with a cane, and he's okay with that.
You know, making it to that age with that attitude in Night City is something to be proud of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And considering what Faircloud and his their family's been through, it makes it even only more impressive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is this actually the first time he might be seeing Faircloud after the augmentations?
Yeah, in fact, that's what he's going to do, is he's going to kind of look you two both up and down, and his smile never falters, even though two Borgs showed up on his doorstep. And he says, well, either I forgot to pay my tab at a bar, or one of you's my favorite nephew.
Kane is going to use her audio vox to replicate Faircloud's voice and say, "Nice to meet you, old man."
I see you went with a more feminine frame. Well, you have good taste.
We'll give him a win.
Faircloud is gonna like hit kind of hit her in the back of the shoulder and kind of like push her a little bit. Yeah, how are you doing? Yeah, how are you holding up, Uncle?
I see what you're doing here. Very nice. Well, I'm doing quite fine, if I do say so myself. Had a little bit of an issue about a week ago with some gangers, but, you know, what's the saying when it comes to tiger claws? Just show them your piece, and, they go away.
Yeah,
But come.
let
Let me not be
know.
rude. You can come inside.
And he steps away, and I'm not going to say it's a hoarder level apartment, but it's definitely one of those things where, as you said, Annex, there's a lot of stuff crammed into this apartment. Like lots of boxes, lots of just shelves of various things. And as you two walk in, Uncle Nick just sort of says, please make yourselves at home and take a seat on the couch if you wish. Can I get you to anything? Juice? I don't know. I guess since you're Borg, do you want like motor oil?
Would you actually happen to be keeping motor oil in your apartment, Nick?
Well, to be honest, I bet I could probably find nearly anything you could ever need somewhere in this apartment.
It's fine. We'll have to go through your things sometime together.
And yeah,
when we find the time.
So he gets himself just a quick thing of coffee or tea, probably tea now that I think about it, and he sits down on one of his big recliner, like lazy boy styles chairs and says,
So, either I'm in trouble with MAXTAC or you have something on your mind, Sonny. What can I help you with?
Faircloud's gonna kind of like look down a little bit to the side, and he's gonna say, I'm sorry about, being so distant ever since the augmentation, Uncle Nick. I know it's been months even, yet you still receive me like as if it hasn't a day passed.
As I'm fond of saying, everything changes, and especially in a place like Night City, if you're not ready for change and able to, what is the saying, flow with the punches, you get left behind very quickly, usually in a gutter. But I know who you are, nephew. Who's your lady friend?
This is my new partner, Kane.
She'll
He
wiggle.
kind of looks to her.
Yeah, she'll wiggle her fingers at him. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure's all mine, I'm sure. So,
and Uncle Nick kind of does one of those knowing old person looks at you, and it's weird. Like you swear he's looking right through you. It's one of those stares, and he says,
you've been bowling tonight, haven't you, son?
Faircloud's just
you.
like, yeah. You see, even despite the fact that Faircloud is the 7-foot kind of like massive war machine, he's still kind of Uncle Nick just kind of still knows him somehow. He knows the person beneath all that metal, and Faircloud couldn't possibly lie to him. And it kind of makes Faircloud a little embarrassed at the same time that Nick kind of knows him this well. He can still read him. He'll kind of look to the side and like scratch the back of his metal head, and he'll look back and he'll say, "Yeah, oh, have I got the story for you though?" And is there any like kind of like television or anything? Or actually, no. I think I actually have an augmentation for this.
Oh, your brain dance recorder?
Well, no. I think the Dragoons on its profile, at least in the original 2021, it has these two sensory booms. One of them actually has a camera on the end of them, and I think the other one is actually able of projecting like video or some kind of image.
So what I would say then, if you want to combine your BD recording and project it onto a wall or something, we can definitely make that happen.
Yeah, Faircloud is going to do that, and he's going to project the footage of Faircloud, basically of Pinhead showing up and being like, oh, and the whole exchange there, and him showing up Pinhead at the bowling alley.
And again, Uncle Nick is just full of smiles as he looks and says,
I see your form has improved. And I can tell that look on Pinhead's face. That is a man who is either going to rip a kitten's head off, or he's going to adopt a kitten and live a new life. One of the two. I mean, when a bowler gets that angry, there's only really one of two options.
What an interesting community of bowlers in Night City, when your options are either adopt a kitten or rip its head off.
Well, let's be honest, there's not a whole lot of kittens to go around, so you kind of make do with what you got.
That's true.
What is Uncle Nick's human perception? Is it a 10? He can read Pinhead too.
But if I understood and heard that brain dance correctly, you're entering into a tournament. Is that why you've come? Do you want the special item? And he winks.
Yes, Uncle Nick. I think this is I'm only gonna get this opportunity once in a lifetime, I think, and you know, I really think it, you know, I think we'd both be happy. I think our whole family would be happy if I did this.
One moment then.
And Nick gets up, he shuffles off into one of the various rooms, and then he comes back with a large case, which, to you two, being on the Force, you would think that there's like a miniature nuke or like something very big weapon-wise in this case. And maybe you're a little bit wary of that fact. But he sets it down on the coffee table, and he undoes the latches, and literal like mist begins to waft out of the out of the box. And he lifts the lid, and what you see is a beautifully designed red bowling ball with the words Code Red engraved in black granite across one of the sides. And as Uncle Nick shows you the bowling ball, he says,
"This here is Code Red. It's Pete Weber's son's Timothy's. Now, I know it's been a while, but Pete Weber is the son of the man who founded the Professional Bowlers Association. So, the fact that you're seeing this now, well, this is the best bowling ball the world around, and if you'll allow me to pontificate for a moment,"
and he will do this until you stop him, but he starts,
"As you can see, it has a 1500 grit polished factory finish. It is a 6-inch plus flare potential. It's got a asymmetrical weight block, a hybrid reactive cover stock. It's got a PSA of .014.
And he just goes. He just goes.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
I'm gonna be here all night, Fairclough.
Are we having this conversation in our heads? I'm imagining
Oh yeah.
between the agents. Yeah, Fairclough is gonna tell her. Listen to him, right? He's trying
Fairclough,
to.
this is a murder investigation.
And that's exactly why it's important that you pay attention, because you can have a lot to learn from this man. I know I have.
A lot to learn about the fine grit of a bowling ball.
All right.
If you throw it at the right angle, it gyrates at a rate of about 2.55.
Uncle.
Sorry, I got lost in the moment. But yes, I'm willing to lend you this bowling ball on the condition that it be returned to me in good condition.
I promise, Uncle. I won't let you down.
Very good.
He closes the case and kind of slides it toward you, and then he looks to Kane.
So, I know my nephew here is a bit of a bowling fanatic, but where would you rank yourselves in bowling? Is it just a hobby? Is it a pastime? Or do you just do it because the job demands it?
I bowled once when I was 12, and I think that's it.
I see. Do you prefer a lighter bowling ball or a heavier one?
I'm going to lean heavy.
Very good. One moment. Shuffles back out. Comes back with a not as extravagant case. It's just kind of like a bag, like a bowling ball bag, really. And he sets it down and opens it up just to show you there's a ball inside.
That right there is a Winston bowling ball. Now, it's out of print, has been made in decades, but should work just as well as the Code Red, especially for someone with your design.
You'll lean over, pick it up, and just get a feel for it.
It's 13, 14 pounds, got a good weight. You can tell that it's kind of got a little bit of a turn to the right, but it should work for your purposes.
Alright, yep, should just toss it carefully from hand to hand and then nod. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Now, that one I'd also like back in good condition, but if it ends up in the face of a tiger claw, or hell, if you hit Pinhead in the head with it, it's not mine.
I'll keep that in mind.
Well, is there anything else I can do for you while you're here?
She'll look over at Fairclough. Want me to leave you and your uncle for some family reunion time?
I mean, we've only got 2 days until the tournament.
Oh, what? You only have 2 days?
And he, like, bolts up from his chair.
You know what? I'm going to make the executive decision. We're going to order in this nice pizza, even though it's not really called pizza, but whatever. We're going to order in a nice pizza. We're going to go over the rules of the game, and we're going to get you ready for that tournament.
And he starts to shuffle off as if his mind is made up already, but of course you guys have player agency. If you want to ignore him or run away, you certainly can.
She's not gonna stop him. Is he gonna be able to eat that pizza all on his own?
Yes.
I look forward to seeing it. Guess it couldn't hurt to kick back and to at least learn the rules of the game.
So, since we only have so much time, we're going to do a little montage here. We kind of see that thanks to Faircloud's projection system, you're able to display videos of bowlers and techniques and the rules of the game, visual, not just audio explanation. But 2 days come and go pretty quickly. As requested, Hell does end up hacking into the camera and the database of Libertine Lanes to register Kane as a organic participant. And other than that, the rest of your team, or at least your support staff, they do go through and, check what you found. They do verify based on the coroner records. They do verify that there is a correlation to what Kirei-chan told you. But at this point, you just kind of got to show up and see who shows up, or what's the expression? If the bait is taken, as it were.
All right. Did we do any practice games? Did we go to one of the alleys with Nick as well?
Oh, well, now that you mention it, we have to do it.
Some practice.
So I would like you guys to imagine you don't actually go to a full bowling alley, but since it's Nick, maybe outside of his apartment, he moves a metal sheet and there's a very crude bowling alley. And
it's on the roof of his building.
There you go, that'll work. So, he takes you to the roof and he shows you what he's got set up and he says,
"Now, it's not quite oiled as one might expect, but it should give you ample time to practice."
Okay. I guess
All right.
we better get started.
For the sake of it, why don't you roll your first attempt at bowling here?
My first bowling attempt. All right.
Yeah, first bowling, which is going to be in athletics. And looking at chat, if you want to use them on this, you do have a 3+2s if you want to use them.
I think I'll hold on to those for now. This
Yeah,
is a
save it for the
practice
game.
one. Yeah, save it for the game.
All right.
I should have saved that one for the game, Fairclough.
Okay, well, that's a 33. The way you were, and again, I'm going to let you flavor it, but at least the way I'm imagining it, you throw that bowling ball, and it is, again, the same mastery, the same magical display that Faircloud did earlier.
Yeah, she did she actually see, oh yeah, she would have seen it when he showed it off to Uncle Nick. So yeah, she'll try to replicate his move.
And you do it precisely, down to the millimeter.
Okay. That was sort of fun.
Well, with an arm like that, you might actually be able to beat Pinhead without any issue.
Well,
Did you?
we can hope.
Fairclough is taken. He's simultaneously very impressed, but also a little bit frustrated that this she hasn't bowled pretty much her entire life, and she just did the same thing he did. He's a little bit peeved. At the same time, he's gonna be like, did you take the information from that brain dance to replicate that? What trickery is this?
Oh, don't be so upset, Fairclough. It was just beginner's luck. I'm sure I'll waffle it as soon as we get on the actual field.
And then I think Nick turns to you, Faircloud, and says,
"Well, are you going to defend your honor, son? Or am I going to have to do it for you?"
All right, one more time, and here we go. 22,
right.
Not bad.
Not bad.
not bad.
That's, picking a
not quite enough for a strike, but you do pick up a spare, all things considered.
Well, if I didn't see that footage earlier, I'd say that it was Kane here that bowled, but I think I see the problem though, Fairclough. You're putting too much weight into your right servos.
Am I? I'm still getting used to the changes, and he kind of rolls his arm.
Yes, well, as a friend of your mother's once said, well, how do I put it in a way that you'd understand? It's not so much what you look like on the outside. It's how you throw the bowling ball that matters.
I like that saying.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah.
Is that a good spot to jump?
Yeah, I was gonna say, unless anybody wants to accomplish anything else before we jump 2 days ahead.
Kane's gonna do one thing.
Okay.
She's going to, I don't know, just somewhere in Night City, find some broken glass or make some broken glass if necessary.
You could trip over it. It's so plentiful.
Yeah, she's gonna get like a good amount of broken glass and put it into a little compartment of her carryall.
Okay. Just for my notes, are we talking like a shard or just like actual like
Like
crushed glass?
a layer of kind of basically something that if you walk on, you would hear it.
Okay. Noted. All right. So we cut 2 days ahead as the two of you are going to walk back into Libertine Lanes. Now, I know when I said initially that this place was the place to bowl, the crowd is now double what it was a few nights prior. In fact, there's a line so long that you're 4 blocks away from the place and you already are at the back of the line. It's that intense. But since you're on the list, both of you get in no problem. Now, when you do go to your individual lanes, it is a simultaneous bowling event where all 10 lanes are going to be used at once. And Pinhead, or Richard Weber, is going to take that initial lane, that second one from the left. The other 7 below him are open, as well as the one atop him. But what I'm going to note, and I don't have a token on the map for reasons that will become apparent, there is somebody in a yellow suit at the very bottom lane. Now, they don't have a red vest on, but they do have a yellow/golden suit on.
Kane is going to take the lane not directly in front of yellow suit guy, but maybe like 2 up. So right around here.
So, yeah, I was going to say right about there. In fact, let me switch this over to map view so chat can see what's going on. And yeah, so yeah, you'll take that one. Fairclough, looks like you're taking the one below Pinhead.
Right next to him, yeah.
Very nice. And I think Pinhead, is kind of polishing his bowling ball at the moment and kind of looks over and goes, see you showed up. What's in the case?
Wouldn't you like to know? And Fairclough is going to at this point he's kind of forgetting the fact that these two should be like hot-blooded like rivals of each other, and he's gonna actually kind of like at this point he's nerding out, and so he's going to actually set the case up, and he's gonna open it and show him.
And I think Pinhead freezes, like he full body freezes as he looks at the code red bowling ball, and he says, How do you have that? Like that's my father's bowl. How do you have that?
Oh, you'll just have to wait and see. Let me show you how it's done. And is the lane set up?
It is, but it hasn't started yet. There's actually going to be an announcement for when you guys can start throwing. But Pinhead kind of looks at the bowling ball and says, Why don't we make this interesting? If you beat me, I'll pay you whatever eddies you want, really. But if I win, I want my father's bowling ball back. There's a lot of memories attached to that thing.
Oh, that's a really interesting dilemma. Wait, he's just offering me money, though?
You can always counter his offer in character.
What could I possibly want from him?
A future favor, maybe? It was always fun in
It's
Night
valuable.
City.
What if I got his head?
Just the pinhead, nothing else.
You
Just
said
the
he's-
pinhead.
Because you said he changes them out sometimes, perhaps. Maybe he's had one previous iterations before. What if
Yeah.
I won Pinhead's head in a head-to-head match against him?
Do you want to propose that in character?
Oh man! Oh, it'd be so fucking good.
Yeah, but think about it.
So
What
much on
happens
the
if you
line.
lose? What happens if you lose your uncle's ball?
Would
the
I
plan then?
actually go through with it? Would I let him have it? Oh, damn. But at the same time, it's his. It belonged to his dad, so I also kind of sympathize with
Allegedly.
him. What is... Oh, man, it's Cyberpunk, though. You have to do it, right? I can't just pass this up.
Mhm.
I got to do it.
It makes things more interesting, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, no. Fairclough is... It's on. Okay, yeah, Fairclough is going to kind of make it clear exactly what it is that he gets if he wins. You're gonna give me one of that model head of yours.
And Pinhead holds out a very mechanical Borg hand to shake on it.
Yeah, and with gusto, Fairclough is gonna just shake his hand.
You know what? I think we're gonna get along just fine, no matter who wins this thing. And Kane, before the big announcement and the actual tournament starts, the guy next to you, or I guess 2 lanes down from you, the one in the yellow/golden suit. I don't want to say he's being weird because that's a very vague word, but it's just one of those things where you kind of look over at him every once in a while, and the way he's looking at the lane, the way he's looking at the bowling balls, it just feels off. Like maybe he's paying too much attention, if that makes any sense.
Is he actually participating or is he just spectating?
Oh no, he's participating. He's got his own yellow and red bowling ball.
What?
Kind of looks like a fusion of mustard and ketchup thrown together.
What is his name listed or has been announced?
Well, if you look above his lane to where the screen is, you see that it is the Lane Doctor?
The Lane Doctor. And okay, while she's peeking and he's very
like
clearly
the lame doctor.
super focusing, she'll just look at him. Can she kind of try to commit? Like, what's his physical makeup aside from his unusual choice of
Suit.
attire?
Yeah, sure. So I would say he's roughly about 5'2", so he's fairly short. He is more portly than muscular. In fact, now that I think about it more, I think I've literally just created a mustard ketchup smeared penguin. He doesn't have the penguin's hat though. But I would say that if you were to take the penguin and make him, yellow and red, you'd have...
Be close, yeah.
Yeah, you'd be pretty close.
Okay. And no rubber chickens poking out of any of his pockets, right?
Not that you're seeing.
Not that I'm seeing. But the general the colors of his attire, and in some ways he may be cosplaying a rubber chicken.
Correct.
Okay.
I've got a very important question.
Okay.
Did we bring Uncle Nick along?
Oh, even if you didn't, he'll already be there just cheering you on. He says,
You can do it, Fairclough, and Kate, I believe in you as well.
so he's just kind of in the wings, away from the lanes with the rest of the crowd cheering you on.
All right.
All right. And with that, loudspeaker comes on across the entire establishment. Everybody falls quiet. Music dies down, and the establishment owner says, "All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very important bowling tournament that we need to get to, and we do have only so much time in the evening. So I'm just going to go through a quick introduction of everyone. First, who needs no introduction, we have Pinhead. Crowd cheers, claps, etc. And then we have a entry known as Fairclough, unless you entered it under a different name.
Fairclough, I think is... Yeah, I didn't come up with anything on the spot, and that would have been the name he would have used probably beforehand as well. So, yeah, that's just how he is, and he'll, what did Pinhead do when he was greeted by the crowd?
He just kind of gave a quick wave, nothing special.
Yeah, Fairclough would do the same.
Okay.
Nothing special.
And of course,
he'll let his actions speak.
Good answer. So, the announcer gets all the way down. Kane, I'm assuming you're under an assumed name as well.
She'll go under Renee.
Go under Renee. Okay. And then we have Renee, and then gets to the final end. And then finally, and a rare treat, we also have the Lane Doctor with us. Everybody give a big round of applause for the Lane Doctor. And, some people are like, they're very lukewarm reception. But after a moment, the announcer says, "All right, ladies and gentlemen, everything in between, let's get this bowling alley started. Are you ready?" And then air horns and confetti shoot out, and the tournament begins. So, I don't have a good way to show this on screen, but I do want everybody to know that I legitimately have a bowling scorecard set up for Kane, Fairclough, and Pinhead. And we can do this one of two ways. I'm open to also suggestions, but I think it would be more interesting if we bowled one at a time. So we let one person go all the way through, then we do the next person, etc., etc. But if you guys would rather kind of just go in order and take turns between rounds, we can do it that way too. It's kind of just whatever you would prefer.
So the options are to have one person go through their whole set and then move to the next person, or
Correct.
Okay, I think whatever is easiest on you.
Yeah, I think that one, going through the whole sets, just do one person's all at once would be easier. But I think doing them simultaneously would add a lot more suspense, as you're not gonna know. You're not gonna know. Oh wow, Pinhead really, absolutely thrashed it. How is Fairclough gonna? And then it's gonna be, just that. There'd be more back and forth.
I like that. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's do it in initiative order, quote unquote. Let's do this. Pinhead will go first. Fairclough, you'll go second, and Kane, you will go third.
Sure.
All right, Fairclough.
One
Or not
quick
Fairclough.
question,
Where are you? Pinhead. There you are.
would
All right,
Kane
Pinhead.
get,
Let's see what you got, buddy. I believe in you. All right, so, he starts off with a split. He actually kind of slides a little bit more than he expects, but he catches himself before he goes over the line, but he does still pick up a spare for his first, what is it called? Square? Round? I don't know what it's actually called.
Felix,
yeah,
do you have that
Fairclough, you're up next.
Share that sheet again?
Yeah, real quick. And I don't know that it's going to show, there's no way it's going to show what I'm keeping track of, but if you want to keep track of it for me on your side as well, just in case there's a frame, that's what it's called. Thank you.
Ooh, matched it.
Oh, nice.
So, you're also going to get your own split here. And then Kane, what do you got going on?
Shall go for it. So are we doing, how many bowls are there in a set again? It's like 20, is it 27?
Technically there's, let me count here. So it's like 22 or 23, because it's it's 10 frames that you can roll twice in unless you get a strike. And then at the end, you can roll up to 3 times sometimes.
Okay. So are we going to simulate all of that, or are we going to kind of condense it?
We're going to condense that to 5 frames because otherwise we'd be here forever.
Right, yeah. Okay. She'll go for it. She will ring up Miss Gray on her either internal agent or her radio, though, and ask what she knows about the Lane Doctor.
One moment, checking for you. Yes, the Lane Doctor, a seedy fellow who apparently has been thrown out of more bowling establishments than the record seems to indicate, but I can tell you that he is not exactly the most popular individual.
Do we have any sort of history with him?
That's the odd part. Aside from working for Militech, I don't really have much information on him.
When did he work for Militech?
According to his rap sheet, he is a current employee.
A current employee with that style. Augs?
Fairclough's going. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, she just asked if he had any Augs on record.
Let me see here. Last time he passed through an NCPD checkpoint, it was noted he had a extensive cyber optics and arm modification, but not seeing a whole lot of wetware other than that.
Thank you, Miss Gray.
Of course, it is my pleasure to help.
All right, and that's her turn.
Yeah. All right, I think we're ready to move forward.
Yeah, we're, so all of you pretty much roll the same way. You get a very good spare. And at this point, Pinhead's kind of looking over, across the lanes, and he goes, all right, let's take the kitty gloves off. Let's do this thing for real. And he rolls again. I believe in him. Oh my
Ooh.
lord. Oh my lord.
Oh.
All
Not
right,
bad.
well,
That's not bad for a crit fail still. 16.
it's still not bad. So the way the chart works is that's going to be 1d6 plus 2 pins. So he knocks down only 3 pins in his entire frame, and he is not happy about it. And especially because he goes to, throw the ball, but maybe it's one of those things where the ball doesn't drop the way it should, so it makes a very loud clunk and just barely knocks over 3 pins. And you can hear him swearing in what sounds like some form of French, or maybe German, you're not sure, but just some swearing coming from his lane as we turn to Fairclough.
All right. Yeah. Speaking of which, actually, do I get any bonus modifier for the because this is I remember I forgot to point this out. Fairclough now has his bowling grade shoe soles on his mech feet.
The regulation standard bowling soles, I do remember. Yes. If you so wish to have that activated, that is a +2.
All right. And along with the what about the bowling the code red, the bowling ball that you got, the special one?
It's just a named item. It doesn't actually give you bonuses to
Okay.
bowling, but it is a very valuable item if you were to try to hawk it.
And it's
I think
also for
you'd
the
rather
style.
die.
Also for the style, correct.
Okay, yeah. All right. So here we go.
Yes, Seth, it is
Nice.
a bonus to the roll, and in fact, if you look at Twitter, the +2 for bowling souls is from our Talsorian, so it's official.
It is official stats.
Yeah, totally official. All right, so you pick up another spare. Very well done. All right, and then Kane, what do you got going on?
Let's see.
A 20. Okay. So, it's, roll me, because we're going to round down here because they're each thresholds. Roll me 1d8 plus 2, and that's how many pins you knock down.
Oh no.
Okay, so only 3. So, yeah, maybe whatever was happening with, Pinhead is happening to you, where you just don't, the frame isn't good. It's not good for you at all. But before we go into the third frame, I will say that the lane doctor, quote unquote, is rolling perfect strikes so far, as in legitimately perfect strikes. He is actually the crowd favorite, which, some people aren't very happy about.
She's gonna watch him. Does she see anything unusual with his technique?
Roll me a... what is this going to be? Because I don't want it to be perception, because this is definitely more an insight style thing. Why don't we... How about you give me a human perception, perhaps?
Human perception. Oh boy. We're all great at empathy here.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Yeah, he's kind of hard to read. He's, you can't really tell if he's organic or Borg, but nothing's really jumping out at you other than the fact that, yeah, his technique is nearly flawless.
Maybe. This is when we need Uncle Nick. his human perception. All right. So moving forward.
Yep, let's see what Mr. Weber has in store, or Pinhead has in store. There we go. That's what we want to see.
Oh wow.
So he is able to make a beautiful display and pick up another 7-10 split, drawing the crowd's cheers and adulations. And then Fairclough, let's see how well you do.
All right. This is where I'm calling in the bonuses now. I feel like.
All right,
I've
I
got
have 5 plus 2s available to you.
5 plus 2s? Wow, chat's really throwing it in for this game, huh? We've really got to go all in then. Okay.
We
I'm
still have how many
thinking-
more frames? 3?
You have 3, the 2 of you, so... keep that in
This is the
mind.
third one.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm gonna put in. Did you want to use any Azu or?
I think it's less important that Kane wins this match. I think. Well, she'll find out shortly, but I wouldn't use all of them yet, especially since we have more. But definitely use a
Okay.
few.
I'm gonna use Okay, so we've got 3 less. We've got 5. I can do 2, 1 boost, 2 boost, 2 boost if I need to. So I'm gonna just do a 2 here and see if I
And
get
you also
that.
have your luck points that you can use.
Also
Oh, I
do
think I
have that.
forgot. Did I add the +2 modifier to that? Is there a way I can
I
that?
do see a roll mod on it, yeah.
So I did add my +2. Okay.
Yeah,
For,
so
for
you're gonna
my for my souls or just for the luck, or the.
roll...
I think I forgot.
What's
take
your
into account
total
my
mod?
souls.
Yeah, it just looks like I'm seeing just a
My
2.
total
Was
mod
it
would have
supposed to
been
be a 4?
because +2 from the chat
Yeah.
bonus.
Okay, yeah. All right, so that's a
'cause I got
25
2
then.
from the bowling grade. Mm-hmm.
All right, so that is a 25.
Strike.
That is a strike.
Nice.
Very well done. All right, and Kane, at this point, I'd like you to roll me another human perception here before you roll your actual athletics here.
Sure. I'm going to go ahead and spend a couple luck points on this one. 2 luck points.
Okay. All right. With a 17, you're going to notice that the lane doctor he thinks it's furtive, but he's eyeing you very weirdly, which I think I've, again, said is a bad word to use, but you just get a very uneasy feeling because it's one of those things where, and you know, I might be misspoken on this one, but female friends I've had have said that you just know when a guy's looking at you in the weird way. It's like there's just that feeling. So that's the kind of vibe you're getting. It's like, ew, why is he looking
Especially
at me that
since
way?
he looks like the penguin.
Exactly, yeah, you know, penguin, you know.
What is this man doing? She's going to contact Miss Gray again.
Okay.
Miss Gray, sorry to interrupt again. The last few games that the lane doctor took part in, what was his final score?
Oh, well, that's interesting. Appears to be that aside from 2 matches that were 8 and 6 weeks ago, he rolls perfectly.
Interesting. Hell.
Yeah, if you would care to roll deduction based on what you've just heard.
Oh boy. My big, huge brain.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason I'm not in the investigation squad, you guys. I didn't sign up for this shit. 10.
Wait, hold on. Am I hearing all this too?
Yeah, you're hearing it. It's all through comms. So,
I
yeah,
have training
Fairclough,
in
if you want to try your
deduction.
own deduction.
Please
Yeah.
do.
What kind of mods are we getting? This is just a flat.
Yeah, flat deduction, unless you want to use one of the chat plus 2s.
I'm gonna use one of the chat +2s.
Using one of the chat plus 2s. Got it.
13. Oh, not great.
So,
2.
Kane, it doesn't really jump out at you, but Fairclough, you do remember the whole 8 and 6 weeks things. The tournament in which those 2 were killed, the lane doctor did not bowl perfectly.
Yeah, I actually, that's what I thought. I thought there was something else going on there, but I picked up on that too. Kane's going to contact Hell again.
Okay. Yeah, what's up? You're in the middle of a tournament. No, I can't hack the pins for you.
You can hack the pins. Damn, you beat me to it.
However, can you get a good look at the guy?
Sure. She'll look over at him.
All right, perfect. Keep him in frame for the next 3 seconds. Ha, got him. All right, I can spike his eyes at any time.
Great. Thanks, Hal.
You're welcome. I'll remain on the line.
I'll tell you when. Okay.
And then, yeah, Kane, let's see your 3rd frame.
So you go for it. Athletics.
I'm gonna imagine that. Oh my.
Ooh, that hurts. That hurts.
gutter.
That's a gutter ball to end all gutter balls. And that is just, it's not just the one gutter ball, it is back-to-back gutter balls. Or in fact, let's do it this way. Well, the first one's a gutter ball, the next one you go over the line, so it counts as 0. And I think even, you know, Uncle Nick kind of shouts,
Don't let it get into your head. You need to focus on the game. Just don't focus on the number.
and then,
Thank you, Uncle Nick.
yeah, it's a good character. We're going to have fun with him. All right, Pinhead. I mean, you know what, Pinhead? I'm going to give you one of my GM bonuses. Here we go, Pinhead. I'm going to give you a +2 on this because I believe. Okay, he's still rolling spares. Not enough for a spike or a strike, but you know he's doing his best. And then Fairclough, your 4th frame.
Okay, it's really coming down to it, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
How many boosts we got now? That's 3?
I have 3 remaining.
Okay. It's this one and then the next one. So I'm gonna spend 1 boost, and I'm gonna spend 2 points of my luck.
Okay.
26.
26. That
another
is
strike.
another strike. I love it. So yeah, at this point you're getting into the groove. You're feeling the court. You're feeling the ball, and you are just in the moment. You are dominating. Kane.
Who's
how are
the
you?
front runner now?
You are actually. You are at 37. Pinhead is at 33, and we'll update Kane's score once they've rolled this frame.
Sure. So has the lane doctor rolled yet?
He's about to roll another strike.
Okay. So as soon as he kind of comes back on the backswing, she's gonna just give it hell a simple now.
Okay. So it's one of those things where, again, if you've ever played 2077, there's literally a thing that reboots optics. It's a very similar thing where there's a kind of a shocking sound, like a bit of electric discharge, and the lane doctor kind of clenches his eyes shut and twitches to the side just as he throws the ball, and it goes straight into the gutter. And he's kind of rubbing his eyes and blinking, and when he finally is able to see again, he just is glowering down the lanes, like he is trying to figure out who is responsible for this.
All right. She'll give her ball. That's
The
better.
20. That is another 1d8 plus 2 pins. Let's see how you do.
Okay. I take it the bonuses from chat, they need to be applied before the roll, not after, right?
Preferably, yeah.
Okay. See, that's 1d8 plus 2.
All right, you knocked down 6. And your score is now a 22, for those of you that are keeping track at home.
Gotcha.
But yes, very, very important frame for Pinhead and Fairclough, because technically it is possible for Pinhead to come away here. So, I believe in you, Pinhead. I believe you can do it, buddy. I didn't believe hard enough. I'm sorry. All right, I think it's actually mathematically impossible for him to beat you at this point. Oh, no. Let me just tell you that you are very much favored to win, Fairclough, but we still want to see you roll just in case.
Still see some crits.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm tempted to use the last boost here. We had 2 left?
Yeah, I've got 2 left in my queue.
Oh, and also I keep forgetting to add the +2 for my for the souls. I keep doing just the boost and the luck. So yeah, I'm gonna do a +6 here.
Okay.
Because I could always roll the 1 and then a 10 and get a -10.
very possible.
That'd be terrible. So I'm gonna spend the last remaining 2 boosts. So that's
Okay.
4 plus the 2 from my souls, modification to my feet, and here it goes. 27. Okay.
That is sufficient. All right, so you finish off with a strike of your own, and your total score at the end, since we're only doing 5 frames, you have a 67. Pinhead has a 50. And Kane, at this point, you're just bowling to have fun, but also to keep an eye on the lane doctor, because at this point, the lane doctor has stopped bowling completely, and instead has locked onto you with eagle vision, like his eyes are boring into you, Kane.
Oh boy.
And Kane, I actually have to look at the rules here because I want to make sure I do this correctly, but how's your dodge there? How's your evasion?
It's pretty good.
All right. Because a bowling ball may or may not be being thrown in your general vicinity. I just have to remind myself what the rules are for I think it's thrown weapons, I believe is the skill.
I think it has something to do with the grenade launcher.
Just athletics.
Is it athletics?
I'm pretty
I'm
sure.
trying to
it's
find the
athletics.
page for it real quick. I thought I had it, but I didn't.
Let's see.
Let's see if we can find it real quick. Let me see.
Okay, throwing is on page 177 if you want to throw an object.
Aha, there it is. Thank you.
Um,
It ignores the defender's armor.
Let's see.
Wow. Throwing's
Really?
kind of busted.
Wait, throwing ignores.
Throwing
Oh,
an
no,
object,
that's-
or are you looking at the
Yeah, that's
martial
throwing
arts
a
maneuver?
person. That's throwing a person. Throwing an
Oh,
object
here it is.
on the
Yeah,
right
okay.
side
I
of
see the second
page.
paragraph here.
Yeah,
If you want to
yeah.
throw an object, you make range using Dex Athletics. Okay, so he's rolling athletics here. Got it. All right. Well, I don't want to give away his modifier, so I'm just going to roll the 1d10 flat. And he's rolled a 1, which means I now roll another d10. He rolls a 5.
Okay.
So there's a lane between you and the lane, Dr. Kane, and the person in between you isn't catching on to all of this. They're just having a good time bowling, enjoying the thing. The next thing they know, and perhaps the last thing they know, is that a very heavy mustard and ketchup bowling ball caves in the side of their head.
Oh no!
And they fall to the ground dead instantly.
Jesus.
And it is at this point that the music stops. Everybody stops doing what they were doing. And everybody looks towards the lane doctor. And the lane doctor is fuming. And in fact, he starts yelling, "This is a travesty! There's non-chrome participants in this tournament. I was supposed to show them all up. I was supposed to make them rue the day they thought they could bowl without chrome. Oh, don't you worry. I've got more bowling balls for all of you." And he starts reaching into his bag and pulling out more bowling balls. And at this point, the crowd is either like fleeing for their lives or they're into this shit because it's Night City.
Night City, yeah.
And the music starts to actually kick back, kind of like that scene in the recent Tron movie where Daft Punk are like doing their thing.
Oh,
then
man.
the fight starts and the music starts going really hard. Same thing here, where the music just really starts to kick up. And technically we're in combat, but Kane, you do have a turn before we actually go into initiative order.
We have a turn. Okay, let's. She's been waiting for this shit, so let's clear the distance between her and the lane doctor and try to grab him.
Okay. So that's going to be an opposed check from him. And what does he have for his brawling? He has that much. Again, I'm going to keep his modifier private. Okay.
Another 2 luck points on this.
All right, well, the good news is he rolled a 24. So with a 26, you are able to grapple him.
All right.
Now, technically, I believe... Let me just quickly read here. Because isn't technically grappling melee combat so that's 2 rate of fire? Am I remembering that correctly?
Grappling is only 1 rate of fire.
Only 1. Okay,
It's your full action.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, that's why we checked. All right, then in that case, honestly, Kane, technically you have him in a chokehold. He might try to get out in his turn, so I guess Fairclough, we'll go to you next. What would you like to do? You would have seen and heard all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Fairclough is going to light up over the comms, and he's going to say, so right, we heard exactly what his cyberware was, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we know exactly what he's capable of. So, again, Fairclough is going to say over the comms, be careful, we don't know what exactly he's packing in that arm especially.
Oh, I'm always careful.
All right, try and hold him still. And let's see here. What have we got? Fairclough is going to barrel through and past all of these. Actually, is there people in the way?
If you start running, they'll get out of the way.
Okay, yeah. Fairclough kind of lets out this kind of like electronic kind of like blaring kind of a very ominous kind of like blaring sound as he rushes forward and kind of like moves his way past the pillar here and goes down towards their direction. So I imagine he's going to be able to get about half the way there.
Okay.
All right.
And you gonna take a shot? You gonna throw something? Or you just gonna be there?
I would love to throw a bowling ball at him, but
okay. Well, we don't have to
Kane's
throw
in
the
the
special
melee.
bowling ball.
Yeah, no, he's not gonna have that. The problem is Kane's in a melee, so not sure if we want to resort to that yet. So
Well,
I'm gonna hold my
I mean, it is
action.
only a -2 from what I remember, so
Well,
yeah, it looks like there's a -2 if I'm reading this section
So
correctly.
Kane and the lane doctor both have a -2 on all their rolls right now.
Right. Though I think
Is there a chance for friendly fire? What's friendly?
I don't think there's a.
Yeah,
friendly
that's
fire.
what I'm trying to
Yeah.
find. And
Unless
again, you
it's
think I know
explosive.
this because I play tested this damn thing, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think unless you get like a crit fail and then it's GM's discretion, I would imagine.
Yeah, let's roll with that. Let's say that if you do roll a crit fail, it will be considered a chance of friendly fire. But let me just very quickly, let me check the permissions on this. But under, where is it? Under weapons, there should be a bowling ball that is available to you.
What? All right, let me go
Prepped and
find
ready.
that. Bowling
Listen,
ball. There
you
it
know,
is. Bowling ball.
You thought I just made, bowling rules up for shits and giggles. No, this is a very, very important Saturday evening is what this was.
Okay. Bowling ball is equipped and ready.
All right, light it up. Let's see what we got.
Okay, you know what? Since I kind of want to give this guy a little bit more of a fair chance, I'm gonna try and make an aimed shot at his what is it? If you hit them in the leg, you can knock them down, right?
Something like that, yeah. So if I remember correctly, aim shots are -8.
Yeah. So I'm making this harder for myself.
I think if it hits them in the leg, it breaks their leg. Actually,
It probably would, yeah.
We'll see.
we'll see.
Oh, actually, this is a melee weapon, so I'm actually getting on my turn. Yeah, I'll just do a regular throw toss then.
Okay,
So
regular
I
throw.
won't do an aimed. Because I might not get another chance to hit him with a bowling ball, and I gotta take
true.
it,
Yeah,
obviously.
you got to take the shot. You just have
Ooh.
to.
Oh, 22!
That is a 22, and that is more than sufficient. So, if I'm remembering the chart correctly, I think that's the head where it hits him. I think. We're gonna go with that. I think it hits him in the head. So I'm gonna roll a critical injury, or go ahead and roll damage, but I'm also gonna roll a critical injury to the head.
Yeah, Fairclough is gonna say, he grabs one of the bowling balls as he's rushing for it, and he's gonna say, "Incoming! Look out!" And he's gonna throw it, and I'm guessing you just narrowly avoid it. How do you describe that?
Well, Kane's got a perfectly viable human shield right in her grip. How convenient.
Look at that. No, that's rolling from the body. I didn't want body. I wanted head. Hold on.
I think, not to be a spoil sport, but Fairclough,
Yeah.
did you say you were canceling the aim shot, or was that an aim shot?
That wasn't an aimed shot,
That
so
was
I
just
don't.
a
So
normal
does it
attack.
actually hit body instead?
I think it just hits ball.
Yeah, it hits body.
Okay, well then we'll keep those crushed fingers. So 15 damage plus the critical. All right, so what's gonna happen then is the lane doctor holds up his hands to try to block the bowling ball, but because Kane, you're grappling him, he's unable to, and his hands are crushed by the impact of the bowling ball. Like, it's one of those sickening crunches where maybe even a little bit of his sternum compresses in,
Oof.
and he goes, "My fingers, my beautiful fingers, why? I just wanted to make the sport beautiful."
What a character.
Oh, poor guy.
And,
Poor guy. He killed people.
Yeah.
yeah.
Probably. We're not sure, but
All right, well,
actually,
he
has
is...
killed. Yes, we do know he has. killed.
We know he killed one guy
We watched it
already.
happen. That is
Yeah,
true.
the one guy is dead on the floor already, but you never know. All right, so he is going to try and break your grapple, which I believe is, again, a opposed brawling here. All right, you've rolled a 20. That is enough. That is sufficient. So he's
Okay.
actually going to break your grapple, Kane, which I believe takes his entire action. So he is no longer within your grapple. And what I would also say is that, as I scan what he can do here, he is going to open up his arm. He's not going to get an attack or anything, but his arm opens up. And you see stored inside are basically small bowling balls in all this grand scheme of things. And like a bowling ball launcher kind of folds out of his arm.
Jesus Christ.
And again, he can't attack because he's already used his action to get out of the grapple, but he kind of starts waving it over the crowd and over both of you, and he says, "I will make it beautiful. This will be the most beautiful court in all of Night City. I will make all of it." And then, Kane, it's your turn.
Alright.
One thing he could still do is he could actually still take a move action, so he could actually try and run into the crowd and get bodies between him and Kane, so it's harder for us to melee
Ooh,
him.
you know what? That is a good point here. Tell you what, I'm going to roll I'm gonna do this fair. I'm gonna roll based on his resist drugs and torture, because that seems torture to him at least. All right, so I think what he's gonna do is he is going to run, and I probably should have made a token for him, but I honestly expected you guys to zero him instantly, but whatever. He is going to run, but he's actually going to be running the wrong direction in the grand scheme of things. And what I mean by that is he's going to run down the lane where that X is, where
boy.
the oil of the lane will make it quote-unquote difficult terrain for anybody who wishes to pursue him.
Does he slip or is he okay?
He's okay. That's what the roll was for, was he going to be okay or not?
Gotcha.
Yeah. If he had rolled a 3, though, he would have eaten shit. Like, totally eaten shit. But yeah, Kane, it is your turn.
Let's see here. All right. Kane's never backed down from a challenge. He's going to go after him. What she's going to try to do is run along, along the gutter.
Okay.
So is she able to catch up to him?
I would say you would be able to, yes.
Okay. She's tried grappling a lot, but they keep getting away, so she tried. She's going to hit him with some martial arts attacks.
Okay.
All right, so let's see if this macro works. Let's see. I think it's this button.
All right, in 18, let's see if the lane doctor is able. So maybe you come in with a jab, maybe a sweep, maybe a kick to the leg, but despite the adverse conditions, the lane doctor is able to avoid your first attack. But martial arts is rate of fire too, so you do get another attempt.
I rolled.
All right. Oh,
Jesus.
I'm all right for shits and giggles.
wow.
I'll roll. Yeah, I just want to paint the picture here. So you're going in with punches and kicks and jabs, and what he does is he actually leaps over your head and lands behind you and puts the bowling ball launcher to the back of your head. Again, can't do anything because it's not his turn, but I just wanted to paint that picture for you.
One day I'll roll good at what I'm good at.
Boy.
One day. But yeah, we come back to the top initiative. Fairclough, you're going to hear the sound of someone charging, and you turn and look as Pinhead, or Richard Weber, actually begins running across full sprint towards Kane and the lane doctor. Now, he's only going to be able to get to about lane 4, but you hear him kind of shouting, "Take your nonsense elsewhere. This is the hollowed hall of bowling. We don't need your bullshit here." And then it's your turn, Fairclough.
All these bowling fanatics.
All right, I think I'm gonna. Oh man, yeah, I'm gonna push this aside, push aside past the bowling thing, maybe even dislodging and damaging it in the way, and I'm gonna run and the like form up next to him, and I'm gonna radio to Kane, clear, set this up for us. Here we come, And I think I'll hold my action there for that.
All right. What are you holding your action? What is the trigger going to be?
As soon as it comes back around to Pinhead and I's turn, we are going to both of us, we're just going to fucking body this guy, and we need Kane to basically, this is your chance to set it up for us.
All right. Well, very, very important turn for the lane doctor, because if he gets this shot off, Kane is getting a bowling ball projectile to the back of the head. Which, some things you don't want your DM to say for 2000. Well, that's a 1, and then that's a 6. Kane, so there's kind of a muffled, pneumatic thump, and you're full board. You know how to dodge a bowling ball. At least I hope you do. So you kind of do one of those matrix dodges where you just kind of lean to the left and there's little after images, and we see the bowling ball fly across all the lanes and impact the wall on the far side of the bowling alley.
Are these full size or are these mini?
Well, that's the other detail I forgot to mention, is that they're mini until they're fired, and once they're fired, they expand outwards into full-size bowling balls.
Oh, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to decide. Oh yeah, he does have his moves still, so let me see if he eats shit. He eats shit. So Kane, he tries to shoot you in the back of the head, then run. He falls flat on his ass in lane 2. And now it's your turn, Kane.
All right. She's been asked to set this up. She'll set this up. How many chat bonuses do we have right now?
You have no chat bonuses right now, but we do have an awesome pun from Celadon, which I might read in character in a moment.
Sounds good. All right.
Okay.
I'm out. Oh, why is it? Hold on. All right. Let's just do a good old brawling. Try to pick him up by the scruff of the neck.
All right, 22. Very important roll for him. Let's see what he does. I'm not even... Yeah, you get him again.
All right. She's going to grab him by the scruff, crush him to her chest, and then just walk out here and basically pin him against the wall for Fairclough and Pinhead.
Okay. So, I think we see the writing on the wall. We know where this is going. Are you going to bring him in live, or are you going to dispatch him here in the bowling alley?
Oh, fuck, that's a
I think we
hard
should question him a bit. We still don't know enough about the murders.
Okay.
We should probably capture him here.
Mm-hmm.
And given that you've already grabbed him, caught him, and with Pinhead and I, yeah, it won't be as brilliant and fantastic as the both of us grabbing him and literally ramming him through the fucking wall into the adjacent pool room as I had envisioned it. But this'll be fine.
This'll work. So you have him pinned. Fairclough, you're able to come up. Pinhead's able to come up. And I think Pinhead almost beats you guys to the punch. And he says, "What's wrong with you, Lane Doctor? Why have you done this? Like, why?" "You don't understand. I mean, maybe you do because you're full Borg, but do you really want those with meat to be bowling? This is a sport for the elite. The sport for those who are above all others."
Who do you think made this sport?
And he thinks for a moment, Lane Doctor thinks for a moment, and actually looks back at Pinhead. "Why, his great-grandfather did. He should understand more than anyone."
I think we're done here. Fairclough, is there anything else, or can I...
Now is the opportunity for, I'm guessing, what do the people back at the HQ think? Yeah, Fairclaugh's gonna ask him. He's gonna radio into, is Drake available?
Drake's available. So Drake's get on comm and says, "Well, I mean, he's in good state. I mean, he's obviously off his rocker, but if you bring him in, we can stick him in a brain dance and try and sort him out." If anything,
yeah,
I know
Fairclough's
one of our fixers is going to want to take a look at that pop-up bowling ball arm. I mean, holy crap, that's amazing.
Yeah, Fairclough is, can I reasonably, and non-lethally, disarm him since this is a cyber arm?
You can do so, yeah. You can rip off his arm, yeah.
Alright, yeah, I'm going to disarm the suspect.
Okay.
Is what Fairclough is going to. And he's going to actually say that in character, and he's going to disarm the man.
I hope he has a pain suppressor. She doesn't say that in character. She doesn't care. That was me.
I'm debating, you know what? He doesn't. And he says, "Ah, yes, the pain of bowling. I missed it so." And I think Pinhead just looks at you two and goes, "So, are we good? Are you gonna handle him, or?"
Yeah, we've got this.
All right,
Fairclough,
cool.
they
Also,
call us
Fairclough,
crazy.
I suppose I owe you this head. I can't like swap it out now, but if you give me an address, I'll send it via courier.
All right. And he's Fairclough will actually wave over his uncle and say take that man's address.
All right. And after addresses have been handed over, and unless Kane really wants to, actually smash this guy's head in, as the two of you are
Slightly tempted.
beginning to leave, we see a shot of Uncle Nick still talking to Pinhead, and he says,
Well, bowling's greatest showman, taken down in the prime of his career. One would say he just couldn't bear the weight of the ball.
and he puts on sunglasses, and
I
that's where
throw
we're
the
going to end
bowling
the
ball
session.
back at Uncle Nick.
Uncle Nick.
That's where we're going to end today's session.
Awesome.
Not gonna lie.
All right.
Not gonna lie. This started off as like a throwaway bit, as in the first session, and I'm like, what if? What if?
And here we are.
No, I thought that was
That's
great.
the
You know,
beauty
we
of it.
Yeah.
we got to see Uncle Nick. You know, hopefully a beloved character that I swear will totally not be in trouble at some point because it's Cyberpunk and why not?
Yeah, no,
You know, we
totally.
got to see a little bit of, you know, how the team members operate as a group. We got to see how you two bounced off of one another. And we got to do a lot of bowling puns at the end, which are apparently a good thing.
Worth their weight in gold.
There you go. Exactly. All right. Well, Twitch, stick around because we're going to raid somebody. But YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you later. Bye, YouTube.